Okay, hopefully you've been practicing those other letters and find them quite easy. This is a really fun hand, and I'm going to tell you it's very forgiving. Like it just because of its shape, you don't notice a lot of problems with it. You know, the slant, the angle, it's round but upright, so it's very forgiving. The T can be done two different ways. The first way would just be to go down and then straight across, just a regular Roman T. The one that I see more is going to be looking like a C. So you want it to make sure it looks like a C. It'll come like that. And then you'll just come across. Okay. So you want to make sure it looks like a C and comes across. You don't want this look. Okay. Because that looks like I see it all the time, but I want to see a nice round because it's still a round, really juicy hand. The U will start like this. Now it has that little uncial serif, and it'll come like this, just like that. Now you will see it where it's the like the Kells or the Celtic writing where it goes like that. So you'll see that entry mark. But again, it's got that nice little uncial serif like that. U. The V, you're going to start with the serif. It's going to go down, come up like that, and then you're just going to come around. And I will post the ductus on the guidelines so you can just see the order in which all these strokes are taken. But you really want that nice serif to be there. That's crisp serif. The W can be done multiple ways. The first way, and I don't know that it's the most common way, but it goes like that, and you bring that line up, then you come back, and then you finish it just like you're doing the V. Because it really was a double U, which was the V. I don't know how to explain that, but there we go. There, there, and there. So that's one of the ways, probably the most common. The other one is to do it like the U there, double U, where you go like this. So you'll see it that way. And you'll see it the Celtic way, where they'll go like that. And like that. And then the last way is just this way. Like that. And usually you'll have that thing. Sorry, I didn't do that serif. I was like that. With that serif there, or again, you could do this. So there are a lot of ways to do the W. I'd probably say I see this one and then this one the next, most common, and not so much that one. The X, super simple, just like you're going to go back out that way and then come back in this way. Like that. You could go back that way, either way. So you can go either direction, like that. The Y is done a couple of different ways. The Y can look like this. It'll go down, come around, and have that little base to it. It's got that nice uncial serif there and down. You'll see it this way, like that, and then it'll come out, then down. And then the last way is similar to this way. And they dot the Y. And I don't know why it's dotted, but you'll see dotted Ys. That was actually the way I learned. My professor taught me the dotted Y. And then the Z at that 30, you change it, the angle like you did with the Roman hand. Like that. Just go to a 0. Like that. So that it's all really condensed. So just practice this alphabet, and you're welcome to put letters together, but I'm going to do another video talking a little bit about spacing and the numbers and how this hand looks. The idea being, if you look at the Book of Kells, or if you look up any of the other codices or codex books I mentioned, you'll just see it looks like just a bunch of series of round circles going like this, because it is so round. The whole alphabet is very round feeling and juicy and beautiful. It's got these beautiful lines in between the, because there's not a lot of serifs. And like I said, it was probably the one used the most often by monks and script, in little scriptoriums writing up the scriptures and books. There were a few Book of Hours done in the uncial hand, but more were done, say, in the black letter that we'll learn. Book of Hours were books that people had that talked about at 8 a.m. you'll get up and you'll say this prayer, and it would write it out. At 8:30 you'll do this devotional, and it was a very scheduled book of what people are to do. You start, and if it was a man or woman, you'd start on your this, or you'd start doing this for the day. And very popular books that only the very wealthy had. The paper was very, very expensive. Ink was cheap, and now it's kind of the opposite. We can get paper cheap, but our ink for our printers or ink tends to be more expensive. But anyway, that's the uncial hand, and I will come back and do a video with kind of them together as well as numbers.